Recently, the whole productivity trend has gone too far. Everyone is talking about fancy tools and systems that you can use. Everyone is waking up at 4 a.m. and has conquered the world just before the sun rises. And it seems like everyone is getting stuck in a dreadful system that instead of enhancing their life, makes it more miserable. The problem with that is that the root of real productivity has nothing to do with that. It is much more simpler. Because in order to make progress towards your goal and actually become productive, you just need to blur out all the distractions that you find on social media, stop procrastinating, stop planning, and start doing. I will show you how I doubled my productivity with just the use of a piece of paper and a pen. So let's dive into it. Hi, I'm Simon and I'm an accountability partner. And my only task is to hold people accountable to the goals that they want to reach. Because I believe that in order to reach your goal, consistency wins, but accountability is what actually gets you there. I'm making this video partially for myself because it's the video that I would have needed 3 years ago when I actually started my self-improvement journey myself. Because 3 years ago, I just bankrupted my first startup. And by the way, if you're interested in that story, watch the video up here. And I didn't really know where to turn. And despite that, I still somehow believed that I had a lot of potential and I also had a lot of motivation, but I didn't really have any direction or goal in life that I can run towards to. And my whole self-improvement journey basically started by wasting too much time on the researching phase. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, I was researching which books were the best to read, I was reading about the benefits of a morning routine, and I wasted a lot of time online searching for the perfect journal notebook for me to buy. And even though I felt very productive at the time because I was researching every day and it felt like work and it felt like progress, I actually didn't do anything. At one point I realized that all this work and progress was actually leading nowhere and that I was forever stuck in this preparation phase. Now 3 years into my self-improvement journey, having tried a lot of different things like morning routines, journaling, like different systems and different habits, I have somehow built this almost superpower that just enables me to be incredibly consistent with progress towards any goal that I set for myself. And it's all based on systems and habits that I have optimized over the past 3 years. This video is about what I still do today and the simple little trick that I should have started my self-improvement journey 3 years ago with. Before we dive into the video, I want to ask you one thing, and that is please subscribe to my channel. Because the goal of this channel is to support and help you reach the goals that you have set for you in your life. And we do this by holding you accountable so you can make consistent progress every single day. You see that we're still at the very beginning of our journey and that the channel is still very small, so it really would mean a lot. But now that this is out of the way, let's dive straight into the video. As I said in the beginning of the video, I firmly believe that we somehow got carried away with this whole productivity trend. It feels like everyone is waking up at 4 a.m., going for morning runs and having conquered the world before the sun even rises. Also, since 2020, there was this massive flood in productivity apps and tools that were initially meant to help us, but just by the sheer amount and the endless content that is being uploaded every single day, it actually started distracting us more than it helps and therefore achieving the opposite what the initial purpose was. And the problem with consuming all this endless content and like doing all this research is that we feel very busy and we feel very productive and maybe we even feel like we're learning something, but we're just not making progress to any goal. Therefore, this massive and constant information overflow leads us to being forever stuck in a constant state of planning. With this constant overflow of information, it is really time to remember what productivity is actually about. We should remember what all those apps, tools, and online content should actually help us with. So let's look at a quick and simple definition of the word productivity. What does it actually mean to be productive? You could pretty much say that productivity is using your time, energy, and resources efficiently to achieve a meaningful goal and make progress in your life. And you realize that efficiently, goals and progress are actually key components of productivity. And if you want to have it even more simple, productivity is just about resource-efficient progress towards a goal. And you realize that I highlighted the word progress here because that is exactly what you don't have when you're forever stuck in a research phase. So in order to be productive, you actually need to start making progress in some kind of a direction, in the best case in the direction of the goal that you set for yourself. So if we boil productivity down to the very core, the very roots of it, and we stop paying attention to any tools, perfect morning routines, systems, habits, or whatever, it's about 3 main things that you need to do in order to be productive. And the first very basic thing that you have to do in order to become productive is actually to stop procrastinating and breaking out of this forever planning phase. And yes, you watching this video on YouTube right now on the topic of productivity could be arguably part of the problem. But at the end of this video, I give you very clear action points points that you can actually start implementing today or just in a couple minutes after finish watching this video. The second core principle and the root of productivity is that you actually need to pick a goal that you want to achieve, because progress should be made into the right direction, so picking the goal is absolutely crucial. But don't stress, later in this video we will actually talk about how to set a perfect goal for you. And the last thing to actually make your progress happen is to start doing the thing. And the thing is basically doing whatever you need to do in order to make progress towards the goal. And yes, this is arguably the hard part and where most people start quitting. But again, later in this video I will talk about how to make it as easy as possible, and that you don't need to make huge steps every single day, but that it's more about making consistent little tiny steps every single day, but then consistently. So the doing part will actually become very simple for you. Now that you know the 3 core principles of productivity, without further ado, here is what you can actually do on day 1 and what I should have done when I started my self-improvement journey 3 years ago. And remember, we're trying to keep it as simple and productive as possible without any distractions, so you can focus on the 3 important things that we just discussed. Also, if we make it super simple, there's absolutely no excuse that you can make to start making progress right after watching this video. So what I want you to do is just to take a simple piece of paper and just write down one specific goal that you want to reach within the next 30 days. And with this, again, to make it as simple as possible, you just have to keep one thing in mind. And that is to make the goal as specific as it's humanly possible for you. What you shouldn't write down, for example, is if you have the goal of losing weight, that the goal is simply, I want to lose weight. Or that if you want to start a side hustle, you basically just write, start a side hustle, because that won't do it. Instead, a more specific goal would be that you maybe want to lose 2 kilos of body weight within the next 30 days. Or if you have the goal of starting a side hustle, maybe you can write down, I want to have at least earned €1 within 30 days from a side work activity. And the great thing with this simple practice is that it can be used for any goal, it's absolutely universal. So you can basically write down anything that you want to achieve within the next 30 days. So if you want to become a better father, or you want to improve your relationship, you want to spend more time with your wife, anything works, so you just write it down on this piece of paper. The second thing that you should do is write down a list of 30 days and split it in 2 columns. One column should be titled task and the other one action. And there you go, this is already it. Now you have the structure for the next 30 days. And the only thing that you need to do is that in the morning under the task column you write down what you want to do on that given day. And then in the evening on the action column of the same day, you write down what you actually did on the given day. I made a quick example here of a 30-day goal of lose 1 kilo of body weight. And on day 1 in the morning, I take my piece of paper and I write down what I want to do on that day in order to get one little step closer to that 30-day goal. And in this example in the morning, I plan to go for a 15-minute run at 6 p.m. And then in the evening of that same day, I write down what I actually did on the given day. And in this case, I went for a run not at 6, but at 6:15 p.m. At day 2, I wake up again, take my piece of paper and write down what I want to do. In that case, I want to maybe skip breakfast and have salad for dinner. And then, you guessed it, at the same day, I write down what I actually did on the given day. And you just keep continuing this for the next 30 days. Keep in mind to keep it extremely simple for you. It doesn't have to be any big task that you set for yourself. It just has to be one thing that gets you just even an inch closer to your goal. By the way, I already prepared something for you that you can download for free down below. And that is basically a free template of exactly what we just talked about that you can download for free, print out, hang on your fridge and just get going. The only thing that is important when you take those little steps is that you don't skip one single day. Because if you make only little progress, you really have to be very, very consistent with everything that you do. But for me personally, it's just so much easier to do just little things every single day instead of doing maybe long, hard and intense kind of maybe workouts only 3 times a week. And now at this stage in the video, you might say, okay, I have understood the roots of productivity and I also get this 30-day list. But what is actually the purpose of doing it? And the answer is that if you're actually doing it right and you're being honest with yourself, this simple practice or exercise or experiment, however you want to call it, will do exactly 3 things for you. And the first thing that it does for you is that it brutally honestly shows you where you stand in your self-improvement journey. Because if you're honest with yourself, it will show you how consistent you are, what your progress was, and if you can actually stick with a simple routine like this. And the brutally honest truth, and I just have to say it, is that if you cannot stick with a simple routine like this, then you maybe have to reconsider if the goal that you set for yourself is actually important for you, or if there are just other more important things in your life that you want to focus on right now. If, however, it's not the goal and not like the distractions of other things that you prioritize, and it's actually a laziness problem, then you should actually start working on exactly that. And again, subscribe to my channel because I will be posting a lot of habits and systems that you can build in order to break through that laziness and actually start being consistent. So don't worry about that one. The second thing that this experiment or challenge will do for you is that it actually disrupts your procrastination. Because the only thing that you need to do is actually doing the thing that we talked about earlier. On this piece of paper that we made, there's no place for any distractions. It's just focusing on doing the one thing that you need to do in order to make the progress. And just focusing on doing that, the progress will magically appear. And the best thing is that after 30 days, you can go back to day one and see how much progress you achieved in only 30 days. And trust me, visualizing this process will motivate you so much more in order to keep going for the next 30, 60, 90, whatever days. And the last, third, and arguably most important thing is that it will train your repetition muscle. Building up your repetition muscle is crucial in order to stay consistent throughout a longer period of time. Because in order to overcome friction and actually start doing hard things that your brain maybe doesn't want to do, a strong repetition muscle is absolutely crucial. Because people with a strong repetition muscle has a strong capacity to show up and do exactly the same thing even though it's boring, seem unimportant, uncomfortable, or uninspiring. And the great news about this is that it's something that you can simply learn by doing the thing consistently. So every time you overcome yourself and you actually start doing the thing that your brain doesn't want you to do, you can imagine that your repetition muscle is growing. And what that then does is that it lays the foundation for more advanced habits and systems to come, because of course after some time you will have such a strong repetition muscle that even more advanced systems like building maybe a morning routine or starting journaling or whatever it is will seem so much easier to you. And as I said, when you actually train this, overcoming friction will become so much easier. Now we know the problem of procrastination, we know the roots of productivity, and we actually know what we need to do. Here is the 30-day challenge that I have for you. The first step is to go down below and download the free challenge template. And what I recommend is that you actually start printing it out and hang it somewhere prominent in your apartment or house. I usually have it on the fridge, and you simply get going. The second step, as discussed, is to write down one specific goal that you want to reach in the next 30 days. So the next step is that you actually commit for the challenge for 30 days and start doing the thing. And most importantly, of course, document your progress. I'm excited to hear about your results. If you maybe have problems defining a 30-day goal, or if you have any general questions about the 30-day challenge, please drop a comment below. I will be answering to every single one of you. And if you're able to complete the 30-day challenge, reach out to me, because then we can discuss what will be the next step for you, and that is of course very exciting as well. And if you cannot complete the 30-day challenge, just don't be too harsh on yourself. Just reflect maybe if the goal is actually something that you really want in life, if you have something that is just more important to you right now, because that is fine as well. Not everyone always has to be super productive, and it's also like a phase in life where maybe you are more productive, and then there are other phases in life where you're not as productive, and that is totally fine. In that case, just go back to the drawing board, reflect on what you actually want in life, and then come back to the 30-day challenge with a different goal. It's totally up to you. Everyone who has been watching this video till the end, good luck with the challenge. I really hope that you will make your progress that you deserve. Thanks for watching, and again, please subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.